Well, you made me weep, and you made me moan. When you caused me to leave, child, my happy home. But someday, baby, you ain't worry my life anymore.
Good evening everybody, this is Danny Layton with another airgun review. Since the first time I saw pictures of this gun being shown at the gun shows, I've been dying to get my hands on them. I'm going to test them and see if the rumours are true about the amazing build quality. So, I was delighted when Ty from Armex had informed me that Solware were due to have them in stock. Now, I already do a little voluntary work for the manager of Solware, so I hopped straight on the phone to ask Carl if I could loan them the following day. There are 3 different models and Carl kindly offered me all 3 to review. We have the blued/brown one, which is this one. We have the nickel/pearl one, which has imitation bone or ivory grips. And we have the antique finish one, which is absolutely stunning. They're all replicas of the Colt single action revolver. And what I'm going to do now is take them out of the box for you to see, so just bear with me just for a second. So here we have them. I'm just going to give you a close look up of the blued one. Here's the nickel one. I just want to point out as well, on camera, it doesn't do them justice. These are absolutely stunning in person. Here's the antique one. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to focus on one for now and run over a few details with you and get you some information. So, the Peacemaker. They're all metal designs, 4.5-inch smooth bore barrels, all of them use 12g CO2 cartridges and they take 4.5mm steel BBs. It has a 6-round cylinder with brass removable dummy shells and it weighs 2.1 pounds or 953 grams. It's single action only, just like the original, and it claims around 410 FPS. It's Colt licensed as well, which is interesting, but it's distributed by Umarex, sent to Armex UK, and then it's distributed to dealerships in the UK by Armex. I'm just going to talk to you about the box very quickly. Okay, the box has a great finish. It's really stylish. It's got bits of information on there. It's got steel BB, 12g CO2, single action, 6-round, tells you which cartridge to use. Okay, what I really like about the box is it's quite informative. It's got all your bits and bobs on the back. Really nice. I'm going to talk you over the manual now. So inside it comes wrapped in a little bit of bubble wrap. Let's see what we got in the manual. Okay, all about safe gun handling. And then it goes on to the description, technical data as well. We've got safety, inserting and changing CO2 capsules, got how to load and unload the gun. Now this is a nice page all about barrel cleaning, so that could be useful. Okay, different languages. I don't really need to talk over what a manual book is with you guys. I'm pretty sure you know that one. On the barrel we have Colt Single Action Army .45, which I'm just going to show you on this one because you can see it easier. The light reflects really well from the nickel version, so it's hard to notice on the barrel on that one, but it is there nonetheless. We have the license pattern under the cylinder, which I'll show you now. You can very faintly see it on this camera. I apologise about the light. This is where your CO2 goes, in here. What I like is this added feature. You've got your built-on Allen key, so we're not going to be losing that Allen key. And that tightens your CO2. So when you cock the hammer, it looks and sounds identical to the original. Feels like 1.5 to 2 pound of pressure on the trigger. There's absolutely no take up. Lovely trigger. Okay, so on this side we've got Colt, we've got the calibre, and we've got the serial number. Apologies again for the lighting. Safety is situated under here, which is a nice feature because it's discreet and it doesn't detract it from its looks. So we're going to talk about loading. To unload, you take a shell out by half cocking the gun, flick open the loading breech. With the extractor, just pull out the spent cartridges by using the spring-loaded ejector rod. But you can also use gravity, which is what I tend to do. So, I'm just going to show you this now, the shell. They are a bit different to a lot of standard BB pistols out there. Most of the BB pistols out there tend to take the BB in the tip of the shell. This one, the BB goes into the back of the shell. It's a bit different, so worth knowing that bit of information, because I almost made the mistake of loading at the front, but luckily I read the manual. Now, loading the BB in the back of the shell really does make a difference. Makes the barrel even longer, so I would imagine you'll be using slightly less air for higher velocity. Another point worth considering is to not remove the shells at all and to simply just load your BBs while they're in the cylinder, and I'll show you that now by pressing a BB and rotating. Pressing BB and rotating. That's another option you can take. And when they're all loaded, you just shut the breech, and if you're not going to fire it, just uncock the gun. I'm just going to fire it now, but it is not loaded. So here is the blue version. Just swap them over so you could have a chance to see each one individually. They're all really stunning. It'd be hard to choose one actually because they're all too nice. I think you'd have to have all three. Can't have one without the others. So I've heard that the lead BBs are a little less accurate and they tend to jam trying to come out the shell simply because they're a 4.7 whereas steel BBs are a 4.5. So the steel BBs are a perfect size for the shells, so I highly recommend that you stick with the steel BBs. So looking at sights, rear sight is a notch, front sight is a blade. Now the thing is, what I will say when shooting this gun is it's very, very quiet and very back garden friendly. It tells me that with the BB going into the back of the cartridge as opposed to the front of the cartridge, it gives you that extra barrel length. They're able to use slightly less air but still get the velocity, which is brilliant because your CO2 will go that little bit further, so it's very air efficient. And in tow, obviously that will save you in the long run. What I'm going to do now is just quickly swap over for the vintage and show you that one last time before I go. There will be some detailed pictures, like I said. This camera does not do it justice. There we go. Now these are selling like hotcakes. You have Western enthusiasts buying them, classic gun enthusiasts collecting them. So if you are interested in purchasing one of these, do not hang about. They are gonna go, and they're gonna go fast. If I had a choice, I probably wouldn't give them back, but I know I'll be in a lot of trouble for that, so I best start saving. Another review I'll be doing soon is the Walther Duke, being as though we're in that sort of spirit. So keep an eye out for that one. I just want to say thank you to Solware, and I want to say thank you to Armex, and thank you to everybody for watching this video. I've put together a little piece at the end of this video. It's quite informative, and that is based on the original, so if you'd like to watch that would be great. Carry on watching, and thanks again.
Howard Darby is the fastest, fanciest gun in the West.
Let's get a little interesting now. I've won the world champion of fancy gun handling 6 times in the last 6 years, and bang. The Colt single action Army revolver, probably not the most technologically sophisticated gun of its day. The French, for example, had a much more advanced design in 1873, but what the 1873 single action Army, or the Peacemaker, had was power. This was a full-size gun firing a man's cartridge. It's a 255 grain lead bullet at over 800 feet per second.
You know, if you ask anybody what gun won the West, they'd probably tell you the Colt Single Action Army. Probably one of the most widely recognized firearms profiles in the world. We have decades of Hollywood westerns and television shows to thank for that. And in truth, this probably was the most widely used large revolver in the Old West.
The Single Action Army had something that a lot of guns in its day did not. It had style. It had what we'd call ergonomics. When you pick up a Colt Single Action Army, it's got the plow handle grip. This grip is designed so that when you fire the gun, it actually rolls in the hand and comes back down.
The Colt had a lot to offer. It was powerful enough to be effective for lawmen, outlaws, cowboys who might have to put down rampaging livestock. It was hell for stout. Very reliable gun, fairly easily repaired, tended to function through all sorts of adverse conditions, sand, dust, mud. It took a licking and kept on ticking.
Now the thing about a Single Action Army you have to remember is this is not a 6-shooter, it's a 5-shooter. It's got 6 cylinders, but what it has is this firing pin here. And when you jostle that firing pin, it will set off a cartridge if it's underneath the hammer. Typically, cowboys, lawmen, gunfighters even, would carry 5 shots in their Single Action Army rather than 6. These things are a pain to load. It takes time. And a reload in the Old West was grabbing another gun. The Single Action Army was adopted in 1873 by the U.S. Army. This was the standard sidearm of the United States cavalry. And of course, the cavalry had a very important role to play in the Old West. Single Action Army in the hand, when you shoot it, I mean, it's almost magical. There are very few guns that handle as well as the Single Action Army. When you put that gun out, it just points naturally. That is one of the reasons why people in the Old West, everybody, loved the Single Action Army, because of its pointability. Typically, soldiers would use longer barrels. This gun in particular has a 7.5-inch barrel. If you're thinking about taking this gun out of a holster, it's going to take you all day. That's why there were shorter barreled models, such as the Sheriff's model, that had shorter barrels. If you're coming up out of a holster, this barrel will clear a lot faster than, say, a 7.5-inch barrel.
There's the old saying that God created man, Sam Colt made him equal. This is the gun they were talking about.